Okay? So, everyone who trembled at the words of the God of Israel assembled to me. You say, well, what's the big deal? Ezra, come on, everybody, we're all sinners. This is what I've heard. We love sometimes to pull the word out of context. Romans 3:23 says we're all sinners and we've all fallen short of the glory. That's true, we have. We all have. But what got them to Babylon to begin with? Why were these people in Babylon? Because they had how would I phrase this right? They had mixed themselves with the abominations of the Ite brothers, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Amorites, and then throw in there a little bit of the Egyptians. They have That's what got them there. I mean, here it is. Look at the history. Look at and we yesterday we talked about, look at the last 120 years or so. We've had some good kings, some bad kings, but the people had separated themselves away. We had altars in the high places. We had people mixing themselves with all of the evil worship, the devil worship. Really, that's what it was. It was devil worship, our brothers and sisters. Sexual immorality, everything that goes along with it. And that's why and Ezra and these guys come back and they find out they're doing what got us into Babylon. No sooner have we got back, and the potential of us being hauled back, maybe it won't be to Babylon this time. Maybe it would be back to Egypt. It's not going to be, okay? Maybe it could be someplace else besides Persia is where Babylon was. It could be, whoever the imp. He says, man, that's why he was so tore up about this whole thing. Astonished, okay? Amazed, confounded with fear, surprise. I'm so blown away by what you guys have done. Astonished in verse 3, astonished in verse 4. Verse 4 says, then everyone, and let me get that up on the screen for those that are going to watch us. I'm learning how to do this, and I'm going to make it a smoother transition without even having to talk about it pretty soon. Then everyone who trembled at the words of the God of Israel assembled to me. Who were these people? These were people who had respect for the word of God. These were people who took God's word serious. This wasn't just the carnal. This wasn't just those who say, well, sometimes, not all the time, but it all depends on the situation. And, we're all weak. No, no, these are people who tremble at the words of the God of Israel. The word of God shakes their life. The word of God, they seek first the kingdom and his righteousness. That's who these people are. Then everyone who trembled at the words of the God of Israel assembled to me because of the transgressions of those who had been carried away captive, and I sat down astonished until the evening sacrifice. You say, well, I'm not sure if I can. Well, let's look at it. Okay? These are people, these are the serious. These are the kingdom-minded people. This isn't the carnal Christian. This isn't the submarine Christian. You don't talk about submarine, I don't know what it is, Mormons or something like that that just stick their head, or submarine Christians that just come for Christmas and for Easter. Their head comes. Everyone who trembled at the words of the God of Israel assembled to me. The serious. Now we got the serious. This is the remnant. They're not called remnant, but they are the remnant. Because of the transgressions of those who had been carried away captive. Why did they care of what the other guys did? Well, purpose. They knew it wasn't God's perfect will for their lives. And they're going to be agents of change. They're going to make a difference. They're just going to sit there on the sidelines and say, well, I guess we'll let them do whatever they want to do, but we're not going to do it. Everyone who trembled at the words of the God of Israel assembled to me because of the transgression of those who had been carried away captive, and I sat astonished until the evening sacrifice. At the evening sacrifice, I arose from my fasting. So again, he's fasting. Well, he fasted when he left Babylon. He's fasting when he got to Jerusalem. I arose from my fasting. Having torn my garment and my robe, I fell on my knees and spread out my hands to the Lord Yahweh my God. What's he doing here? He says, boys, drastic times, drastic measures. We need to pray. And I was going to pray to my God. Verse 6, and I said, oh my God, I am too ashamed and humiliated. Can I add there, astonished? Amazed, confounded with fear, not admiration this time, but confounded with fear, according to Webster. I'm too ashamed and humiliated to lift my face to you, my God, for our iniquities have risen higher than our heads, and our guilt has grown up to the heavens. God is just. His justice prevails in every situation. See, we think that the mercy of God is God saying, well, we're going to give you a break. No, the mercy of God is that he sent his only begotten Son to do what you were unable to do for yourself. That's the mercy of God. God, yeah, he's grading on the curve. No, God's not grading on the curve. And Ezra knows this. He says, I'm too ashamed or humiliated to lift my face up to you, my God. For our iniquities have risen higher than our heads, and our guilt has grown up into the heavens. He knows that he could lower the boom whenever he wants to. And he's not sure. He hasn't really, checked out the pulse of God to see where his blood pressure is. Put the cuff on and find out and say, where is your blood pressure right about now, God? Because, dude, I know what took us out of here, and I know what brought us back, and I know what could take us back again. It didn't have anything to do with Nebuchadnezzar, didn't have anything to do with Babylon, had to do with the people and their hearts. That's what it had to do. I'm ashamed, I'm humiliated to lift up my face to you, my God, for our iniquities have risen higher than our heads, and our guilt has grown up to the heavens. Talk about committing the same mistake, over and over again, and maybe expecting different results. Since the days of our fathers, verse 7, to this day we have been very guilty. Oh yeah, that's saying a lot. We have been very guilty. Okay, we agree with that one there. And we're saying, okay, what are we going to do about it? There has to be not a back door. But there's always an escape, But it's through the gate that God has prepared, not through man's gates. I'm getting off into the subject a little bit. And since the days of our fathers to this day, we have been very guilty. And for our iniquities, we, our kings and our priests, have been delivered into the hand of the kings of the land, to the sword, to captivity, to plunder, to humiliation is to this day. And now, for a little while, grace has been shown from the Lord our God to leave us a remnant to escape. He says, man, God, I understand it's only been your grace that has brought us here. But your justice could kick us out real quick.